Have you ever been sitting in an airplane seat, staring out that small oval window, and thought, why is this shaped like a squished egg? Every other window you've ever seen in your life, in your house, in your car, in your office, is a rectangle. So why, on the one vehicle where you're hurtling through the sky, at 900 kilometers an hour, did engineers decide to make it a completely different shape? Here is something that will change the way you look at every airplane window forever. Before engineers figured this out, planes were falling out of the sky. Not from engine failure, not from bad weather, from their windows. The wrong window shape was silently tearing aircraft apart at 30,000 feet. And it took 3 catastrophic crashes, and over 100 deaths, before anyone understood why. Welcome to History Behind Simple Things. Today, we are uncovering the deadly engineering mistake that permanently changed the shape of airplane windows, and why that small oval is one of the most important safety decisions in the history of flight. To understand why the shape matters, we have to go back to the early 1950s. Commercial aviation was brand new. The world had just survived a war. And now, for the first time in history, ordinary people could board a plane and fly from London to Johannesburg in hours instead of weeks. It felt like the future had arrived. And at the center of that future was one aircraft, the de Havilland Comet. It was the world's first commercial jet airliner. Sleek, fast, and impossibly glamorous. Passengers loved it. Airlines queued up to buy it. The British government was enormously proud of it. The Comet also had square windows. Big, elegant, rectangular windows with slightly rounded corners. They looked sophisticated. They looked modern. Nobody questioned them. Why would you? Windows are square. That's just how windows work. But here is the problem that nobody had accounted for. At high altitude, the air outside a plane is almost a vacuum. The air inside is pressurized so passengers can breathe. Every time an aircraft climbs to cruising altitude, the pressure difference between inside and outside pushes outward on the entire fuselage, the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and the windows, like a balloon being inflated. And every time the plane lands, that pressure releases. The fuselage expands. Then it contracts. Expands. Then contracts. Every single flight. Engineers had a word for this: pressure cycling. And they knew metal fatigues over time. When it is repeatedly stressed, what they had dangerously underestimated was where that stress concentrated the most. The corners. A square corner is a stress amplifier. When pressure pushes on a flat surface, the force wants to travel smoothly around the frame. But at a sharp 90-degree corner, that force has no way smooth to go. It piles up. It focuses, like bending a paperclip back and forth in the same spot, until it snaps. In January 1954, BOAC Flight 781 departed Rome and climbed to cruising altitude over the Mediterranean. 35 people were on board. Minutes later, it disappeared from radar. Wreckage was pulled from the sea. Then in April of the same year, a second Comet broke apart in flight. Then a third. Investigators pulled the wreckage from the ocean floor and began the most meticulous accident investigation in aviation history up to that point. What they found was microscopic. Tiny cracks invisible to the naked eye had formed at the corners of the windows. With every pressurization cycle, those cracks grew a fraction of a millimeter. After enough flights, the metal around the corner simply gave way. Explosively. At altitude. In seconds. The phenomenon had a name: metal fatigue. But its lethal relationship with sharp corners was something the aviation world had never fully reckoned with, until it was too late. You might be wondering, why an oval specifically? Why not just a rectangle with very rounded corners? The answer is pure geometry. An oval has no corners at all. Stress cannot concentrate where there are no angles. When pressure pushes on an oval frame, the force distributes evenly and continuously, all the way around the curve, like water flowing around a smooth stone. There is no single weak point, no place for a crack to begin. After the Comet disasters, every aircraft manufacturer in the world quietly redesigned their windows. Oval frames became the non-negotiable standard. And here is the remarkable part. That standard has not changed once in 70 years. Every Boeing, every Airbus, every commercial aircraft flying over your head right now has oval windows for exactly the same reason. The Comet's square ones failed. So the next time you press your face against that small oval window at 35,000 feet and watch the clouds slide by beneath you, Remember, you are not looking through a design choice. You are looking through a lesson written in tragedy. That gentle curve, so easy to overlook, is the shape that engineers arrived at, only after the sky had already claimed its price. If you enjoyed uncovering the hidden history behind this simple thing, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Share this with a friend who's ever looked out a plane window and wondered. And subscribe to History Behind Simple Things for more surprising stories hiding behind the everyday world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.